Yo,
Yo,
what's up, man?
what up, dude? How's it going?
Just sitting in a hotel lobby.
Dude, living the absolute dream.
Of course.
You're in a PA?
I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee right now,
Why did you
which is
say
amazing.
PA?
We were the other day, I think, when we talked.
Oh, you know what? I read your text wrong. You're also his PA. I thought wow,
Oh yeah,
I need to read better.
you got to remember the tour abbreviations, man.
No, I read the sentence wrong. Now that I'm looking back, it legit says exactly what you meant, and I thought you were saying I'm also in PA.
No.
Oh man. Whose PA are you?
Um, my guitar player, I just do a lot of like on days off or even like show days, I do a lot of extra stuff because I just take care of one dude. So, and it's like all guitar related shit. So it's not like I'm doing like running to the store or anything like that.
Yeah, you're not grabbing like coffee. Well, I mean, maybe coffee,
Yeah,
coffee runs
I mean, I
sometimes.
mean, if he asked, I wouldn't, I would oblige because I'm usually not doing something if he asked me. So
Where would you draw the line?
where would I draw the line if he asked me to be his fluffer?
Oh, jeez. I guess yeah, that would be fun. So who are you? You told me, but just for the people listening, who are you out with?
Buck cherry.
Buck Cherry. It's kind
Hmm.
of and this is in no way a slam. I'm just surprised that they're still kicking.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually doing pretty well.
Well, that's good. Let's see. I'm
Yeah,
gonna pull up.
I mean, it's it's pretty surprising because it's like one of those things where people are like they know the one song, they know Crazy Bitch,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
and it's cool because like going into this, I was like, well, I don't know anything else, and then it's like progressively, it's like it's all grown on me, and I'm like, they're really good songwriters, and I'm not just saying that. Like they're insanely good songwriters, and like even their new stuff, like the first song they play in their set, 5 4 3 2 1, is like almost like a punk rock song.
Okay. Yeah, I've never besides like hearing that song, dude, I don't know, like even just like the clean cut on the radio or like if someone plays it at a party or you know, on the tour bus randomly, like I've never deliberately went to like Spotify or, Apple like iTunes and be like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to some Buck Cherry. But you know what? After this, I might see what's up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of their new stuff, like I think their newest album's Hellbound is like it's good. Like, I mean, a lot of people have the misconception of like these bands where they're like, oh, I didn't know they were still around. Like, if you Google like half the bands from like that era, like the '90s and stuff like that,
Mhm.
it like one of the top things will be, are they still a band?
Oh,
And it's
definitely.
and it's not just like Buck Cherry. It's like any band from like the '90s era that you can think of. Like even bands that like are still touring and doing like huge venues.
Yeah. I think I think why they got that kind of like I don't know. Obviously there's a lot of people that listen to Buck Cherry and they're still around for, that reason that they make good music. But that one song got so big and I feel like it grouped them into that like how like Creed and Nickelback are like you kind of say it as like a joke, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe not
I
which
get
one is
I get
bigger
what
joke? Nickelback or Creed?
ooh. I
One
mean, Nickelback has a lot of jokes, like as
is
far
that
as like what people say,
is that the
but it
photograph
can't.
song? Look at this photo.
Yeah, it
Okay, so they
it
for sure.
is.
Creed is yeah, I would say Creed is maybe
It's
in the
can you
same
take it's higher for Creed. Like people are it's always like, can you take me
er,
higher and that kind of shit. And
yeah. I
it's
should
funny. It's funny with like Nickelback because Nickelback's another one of those bands where it's like I'm not gonna lie, I slammed them at one point, and then I
dude,
listened to like
for
some of their
sure.
riffs, and I'm like,
They're
this band
heavy.
is amazing.
It's
Like,
heavy, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny.
But I think they kind of, just because of the, I don't know, the era of when, I don't know when these guys came out, but like that song was pretty popular back in the time when like Creed, Nickelback and all that was like kind of at the forefront. I don't know dates and stuff. I could be completely wrong, but just by my own memory, I feel like that isn't that same time, and they got kind of grouped in with that, those other two bands. And then as the meme started coming of Nickelback and Creed, I feel like they kind of, luckily I've never seen any Buck Cherry memes, but like they were kind of in that realm of like Nickelback, Creed.
Yeah, and I mean it's funny because there's the misconception with like Nickelback. Nickelback still does like arenas.
Oh, they're killing it. It's amazing. It's just the memes are great.
Oh yeah, it. I think I saw one the other day, and it was like something about like man trying to find like his parents on the news or something like that. And it was like a behind the scenes shot with like the camera and him holding the picture. And it was like, Jesus Christ, people are not going to let this die ever.
I like the because the main meme is, yeah, like you were saying, he's holding the frame or whatever for the photograph song.
Yeah.
And I love the one where he's holding a photo of a graph. Look at this graph.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's,
it's
it,
sick that
it's
they're
funny.
doing so well. I mean, it seems like you were saying that they're kind of, I mean, what was their style back in that day? Like what, like just
It's like, it's rock and roll.
rock and
Like
roll.
they're like heavily influenced by AC/DC. Like,
Okay.
and they'll openly admit it. Like one of the coolest things on this tour, and it's like terrifies me that we even have this guitar,
Oh
but it's
no.
a guitar signed by Angus Young.
Oh shit.
And it's like it's one of our guitars we have, and it's just like all my guitars I have with Stevie, which is the guitar player I take care of,
Hmm.
like they're all like you don't want to. I mean, you never want to break anybody's guitar, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's like I like carefully do things with all of them.
Like with, and no shade to Alan, but like if you mess up one of Alan's guitars, like he's not. I mean, he might be bummed out, but like he's gonna be okay. But if you fuck up one of those gnarly ass ones, like you're in for.
It'd be like it'd be like fucking up one of Phil's guitars. Like,
Oh, you're gonna get killed.
yeah,
You're gonna
it's
get paylaid in the face.
yeah. If there's like a chip on one of his guitars, which actually happened to me, and I was like, I don't even know where that came from. It's like when we got to Europe, and I think yeah, it was Europe because we'd shipped everything, and TSA, being TSA or a
Oh god.
baggage handler, like there was a chip in one of the guitars, and I was like, ooh, this isn't good.
Like, yes, I can't wait. I can't wait. But yeah, that
Yeah, but
one signed by
shit
that guy.
happens.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
don't
they're
fuck
like
that.
heavily influenced by AC/DC, so that's you can hear it in a lot of their songs.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out for sure. Because I mean, I love the artwork. The artwork's sick. It's like a raven, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay, interesting.
something it's something like that. But I can't slam them. Like there's like some bands I work for where I'm just like, okay, like
You're like, okay, it's not for me, but like I'm here to do a job, like whatever. But
yeah,
you're
and they're
actually
not
like digging their stuff now that you've listened to it instead of just the standard one song that everyone knows.
yeah, and they're not like the first like kind of like nostalgia band I work for. I worked for Power Man 5000. Like that it's like another one of those things where it's like I grew up in that generation of like the new metal kind of thing.
Hmm.
And it's like I knew a few of their songs, and then it's like I heard even more songs on tour, and it was like, wow, this is another like it's the same example of like another like good band where you're just like, holy shit, like this is like actually really, really good. Like and people it's one of those things where I'm like, fuck, why aren't they bigger?
Really?
Yeah. And like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Huh.
Um and then even over the pandemic, or well, right before I did this tour, I randomly did a one-off for this band called The Head and the Heart.
Okay.
And you'll if listen to the song Honeybee. and it's like all over the fucking radio. And I was
Okay.
like, I don't even know who this band is. And I heard the song Honeybee, and I'm like, oh shit. Like it's really funny. Like you just run across these bands where it's like you know them for the one song. And then like as I did rehearsals with this band, I was like, wow, they're really good songwriters. Like,
Yeah, they didn't just get lucky and they got the one on the internet, like in the radio. Like they actually have good shit.
yeah, and I mean people's attention spans are like at milliseconds now.
Oh, it's crazy, dude.
So it's like somebody puts out something, and it's like a millisecond of like if you don't keep putting out stuff, like that's why you see a lot of bands that release like singles
Yeah, that's
and
been popular
and
lately,
and then
even
they'll
more so.
like release like an EP
Mm-hmm.
with all those singles plus like two other songs.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they're consistently like releasing material because if they aren't, they don't stay relevant. And it's been like that for a few years.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy because like, I mean, you see it happening a lot. Like, that's how you introduce the album. I mean, some bands just fucking like, boom, album, here you go. But like a lot of bands have been doing like for example, one of the records that I'm actually really excited for is, let me find out the name. Well, it's from Bad Omens.
mhm.
That new record that like there's the single that they have on it, and it's like so far in 2022, it's like my absolute favorite. But they only have, let's see, one, two, three, 4 songs out on a 15-song record. And
Yeah.
like they'll just randomly, I think they started with 3 off the bat, I think, and then like last week or something they released one more. I'm like, how many are you gonna like release one by one until you do the entire album? Like, just drop me the damn thing so I can like cycle through the entire record. Like, just
Yeah.
fucking give it to me. But I get it
That
too.
that's how bands do it. Like I was talking to my friend who used to play in Falling in Reverse, and we were talking about Ronnie and like what he was doing for a little bit. Like he was like trickling out like 3, 4 singles,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still doing that. And now they're finally leading up to an album, and it's just like people have been doing that for, I mean, probably the last like 2, 3 years, where it's like, oh, we'll just trickle out like this song or this song or this song,
Well, yeah,
and just like,
I'd say I mean, bands have been doing that for even longer, but in a different like medium, because ever since streaming became like the main thing, like before you would have to have like, maybe you could buy the album on iTunes for 14.99 or $20 or whatever it would be, and you'd get the entire album, or you could buy individual songs. But like before
yeah,
that, like you would release or tease songs with like the music video, like, and then the album
hmm,
would come out. And it's crazy now. It's like streaming. It's like, okay, well now we're just gonna start putting out songs, and then when we release the full length album, half that album has already been out, and now here's like, now you basically just have an EP.
yeah. Like the music industry's changed so much. Like even since I started in it, it's like streaming has made the music industry worse and better all at the same time. It's because nobody buys albums anymore. Like people talk about it and they're just like, and like people don't want to buy physical albums because it's not a thing. Like unless it's vinyl, because
That's what
vinyl took its resurgence.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah. It's so weird. I
nobody
mean, it's
nobody
crazy.
cares.
It's very, I mean, don't, it's going to be funny because like I'm going to call it hipster, but like also I definitely want a record player and like get some like throwback, like classic stuff, like, Thin
Oh,
Lizzy and all that stuff. Like you're not going to catch me really buying anything new. Like maybe I'll get like some of my cement stuff to like support, but like I want to get a record player to listen to these certain albums from artists that when they were big, the only thing they had were vinyl.
yeah, I mean for me, one of my crown jewels of vinyls, and it's not even, it was just released on vinyl at one point, is the Mark, Tom and Travis show. Like
Oh
that's
shit. Yeah, that's
like
cool.
I saw that at a record store. I was like, fuck, I have to buy this. I was like, it's like I love Blink. And that was like one where I was like, fuck, I have to have this. I have to have this. And I just like, I saw it. I don't even think I had a lot of money. I was like, I'm buying this. I don't care.
Yeah, fuck lunch.
Like it did not matter. And I stupidly, I got a computer over the pandemic and I was like, fuck, I need a mouse pad. And I
Did
used
you
that.
almost just say MySpace?
Yeah. I almost said mouse. I almost said, fuck, can you remember mice pad?
Mice. There you go. Mice and Men needs to make mouse
Mice
pads.
pads.
Yeah, mice.
Cool. Fucking
Oh,
trademark that real quick.
yeah.
And then
Have you ever
forget.
gone like vinyl shop, like a record shop with Tino? Tino loves his vinyls.
Oh no, I haven't gone with him, but I remember that was like days off and like show days. If there's anything within probably like 20 minutes, he's gone.
Oh yeah, I've been with him in a couple or a few different states and went with him to film and stuff like that. And like, it's crazy. Like he just gets like the most intense face. He's like zoned in like crazy. It's
No,
cool.
because it's like it's everything to him. Like he loves it, and
Hmm.
it's cool because I think it was actually we had this conversation in the bus a couple nights ago. It was like still being into music when you're in this industry. I feel like for some people is really hard
Hmm.
because you're surrounded by it 24/7. Like our current merch guy right now, he's one of those dudes on a day off, he'll look and see like who's playing because he wants to go to a show.
Oh, damn.
And it's like for me, that's the last thing I want to fucking
Yeah.
do.
I love music. There's not a day that goes by, like especially at the gym, like not a day that goes by that I don't listen to music. But like on tour, that's a totally different thing. Like there's been times, where like mm, sometimes, you have friends that are in the same state and they're like 10 minutes away or something. I'm like, man, you can come here. I'm not leaving my bus, dude. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, like I've done it. Like when I'm on tour, I don't listen to music whatsoever. I listen to music on the flight there and back, and that's it.
Really?
And it's just because I'm so engulfed in it all day.
Hmm.
Last thing I want to do is like put on music, and it's not because I don't like listening to music. I don't know. I go through like phases, like where I will listen to music all day, every day, and then I won't listen to anything outside of like being in my car for like
Okay.
months at a time. I also have like musical ADHD.
Oh,
My girlfriend hates it because I'll be in the car
yeah.
and I will flip through songs for like an hour.
Oh,
Like if we're
yeah,
if we're
100%.
like if we're on like a 3 hour car ride, she's like, "We fucking pick a song and just listen to it." I'm like, "No, I don't like this song." Or and it'll like suddenly spark be like, "I want to listen to this band."
Oh,
And
oh yeah.
and then I put that on and she was like, I forgot I had like a playlist on my phone. I hopefully still have it. And she was like, "This is the longest I've seen you listen to consistent songs without changing it." It was like it's like some punk rock playlist. I think it was when I still had Spotify
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I didn't get rid of Spotify because of all the recent shit going on. I just got rid of Spotify because it didn't have a lot of music that I liked. And
Recent
plus
shit
you
going
couldn't,
on.
yeah, there's like something where it's like Neil Young is
Oh,
gonna like
yeah.
he doesn't want to be on Spotify if Joe Rogan is. I'm like,
The dumbest shit ever.
if I was just like, it was kind of the topic on some of this tour. We were on up until last night. We had this band called Relax, which because it was a co-headliner,
Okay.
and they're hip hop. I don't know if you know what hip hop is,
I
but
can imagine.
it's country hip hop.
Okay. That's interesting.
It's I'm not gonna lie, it's not bad. There's like literally look into this dude Jelly Roll.
Oh, I've heard
He's
of him.
fucking
Yeah.
he's massive, and these dudes are doing it all on their own. They're not signing to record labels. They're not doing anything. And like the Lax own their own bus. Like these
Damn.
dudes, they're making money.
Shit.
But like a lot of like political views between like myself and all of them are completely different. And that's fine.
Hmm.
But like we even got into the conversation, it was like it's there's no more dividing anymore. It needs to fucking end. Like, I don't care if they're fucking right wing, as long as they're not fucking psychopath racist, which they aren't.
Yeah.
Like, cool, they're into Trump and that kind of whole entire thing, and I'm liberal, kind of left, and we all got along. We talked about like things.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to one of the, I guess you'd call them vocalists, one of the rapper dudes. And it was like, we were talking about the whole vaccination thing. That's such a fucking hot topic everywhere. And he was like, well, I got it because I want to fucking travel. He was like, I don't agree with it, but I got it.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
And I was like, see, that's exactly like, I don't think, if you don't want to get vaccinated, cool. I don't give a fuck.
Whatever.
That's your choice. But for like in the music industry, if you're not doing it, you're not going back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, see, you get it. I mean, it's like there's too much division and everything. And he was like, exactly. It was like, I was like, there's no point having like a divide in anything, because that's kind of what's been going on since the whole entire pandemic just caused a divide everywhere.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And now it's, things like, well, the Spotify thing. And I mean, I didn't read into it any further than like the article headline and stuff like that. But, it's like you both can do whatever you want. Joe Rogan is massive. And it's, of course, like there's going to be things that he says that, might be spreading information that's not correct. But it's like, also, who fucking cares? Like, that's his fucking, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, his God-given right to have a podcast and talk about whatever he wants. Of course, he tries to put, the correct information, but, like, he's only human. He's not going to get everything right and get it right for every person's views. And that one artist just feels like he doesn't want to be on one of the biggest platforms ever. So to each their own.
It's just all like childish bullshit at this point. I'm just like, all right, cool.
Right.
You do what you want. I'm gonna do what I want. I don't care anymore.
Like everyone's boycotting Carhartt, like because they're gonna start firing people after a certain date if they don't get the vaccine. And like there's people that are like posting photos and videos burning their Carhartt gear. And then there's like the other side where it's like, hey man, there's not a lot of great companies that make construction, clothes and whatnot. So
yeah,
that's what they're doing. Good for them. I'm still going to rock Carhartt, like I'm on that side. Like, I don't care. Like, do what you want. Like, whatever.
I mean, it's not just that. It's like people aren't paying attention. It's a lot of companies, like airline industry is doing it. Fucking touring is essentially doing that. It's like, it's just, especially like traveling jobs. If you're not vaccinated, they don't want you working because you're a risk. And it's like, I don't give a fuck. Actually, after this, we just drop the whole conversation.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't give a fuck what your stance is. It's like, you either do or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to get upset about it, because it's like, it's the right to refuse service in any way. And it's even like that with jobs. Like,
yeah,
that's like saying you refuse to take a drug test at a job. They're like, well, you're not going to get hired, or you're going to get fired right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it goes. Like,
it is. Yeah. Whatever, man. Hey, people will figure it out or they won't. But anyways, to step away from that shit, who are they on tour with? Like, so you're with Buck Cherry. What's the tour, like, the lineup?
It up until last night, it was with that band,
okay,
the Lax, and then we have this other band, Core,
which
I think it's their like second tour ever.
Yeah, that's a good first or second tour.
Yeah, and then like I said, the Lax, the grouping of it was really, it's like cross genre stuff, but it worked overall. Like, there's kind of a little bit of the same fan base, or people that wouldn't have listened to this band or listened to the other band. Mm-hmm. And it's like any tour. It's all these different genres, and like I've toured with so many like wide variety of bands. Like
Hmm.
it's all the same when they do the cross genre stuff. Like it's funny because people think it's different. There are some different ways of touring from each genre to the next. But it, I don't know. But yeah, it's like Buck Cherry, the Lax up until last night. Then we have like a few shows left, and then we go on the Monsters of Rock cruise, which
Oh.
is like Alice Cooper,
Oh
fucking,
shit.
I think Winger's on it. Like
Who?
it's like Winger.
Never heard of that.
It's like it's like it's like it's butt rock bands in my opinion. But
Shit.
it, I mean, it'll be cool. It's my first time ever being on a cruise, period, and I have to work. So, but we only do 2 shows, and we're out for 5 days.
That'd be sick. Yeah, I've always wanted to go on like, was it Shiprocked or something
Yeah,
like that? Maybe not that one in particular, but like I've always, I don't know, just because I've never been on a cruise, I've just always been interested. But and then especially like, say I'd go with the My Cement. Oh, dude, that'd be a hell of a fun time.
oh yeah, that'd be a funny time.
A funny time, yeah, for sure. And then I think, I don't know if it's real or not, but isn't there like that emo night? Aren't they having like a cruise thing?
I think so. I
I'm
don't. I
surprised
still
that
don't.
shit's still going, to be honest.
Well, I mean, look at the whole "When We Were Young" thing. That thing sold out in
Yeah. Hey, so
like
what?
3 hours.
It's weird because like I don't really doubt that it's. At
Oh, it's
first, I
real.
was like, "How is this real?" Like, I don't know,
There,
but
there's a lot of logistics that I've gotten more information than I should have about it.
Mhm.
Um, like I knew there was going to be a second day. That's just like
Oh,
given knowledge.
yeah. It's just well now
My
there's
only
3 days, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
3 days now. My only logistical like nightmare looking at that, like from my side of things, is like Warp Tour was bad enough. Like
Oh God.
trying to fit 30 bands into one day. Like
Hmm.
I legitimately I didn't try to talk people out of it, but I was like, look at it this way. If you're gonna do this, you need to go for both days because you're not gonna see every band you want. And plus they're only gonna
Oh no
play like
way.
20 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I think it's great because there's definitely like some nostalgia bands on there. And then
Hmm.
there was other ones on there where I was like, this isn't When We Were Young. Like these bands have only been like popular for the last like 4 years or so.
Right. Yeah. It's I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how it pans out. Because at first everyone I think what also might have thrown people off and made it seem like it was maybe not real is because out of nowhere it just got dropped like a bomb. And people
Yeah.
are
And
like,
then
what the hell? Like, why? No way. This is fake. Like, someone made this an account and like made an ad mat flyer and put just every band from the last like 20 years and like they're playing a show in Vegas. Like, okay, cool. Like, good luck.
yeah. And then people were like, oh, this is gonna be like Firefest. And there's a lot of slams on Live Nation because of that who was it? That festival where like people got trampled
Oh,
and
the Travis Scott.
yeah, like
Yeah.
and they like made hits on Live Nation and I'm like, you need to chill out
Yeah.
because it there was multiple people at fault for that and Live Nation, sure, they might have had a part in it, but you
Hmm.
don't need to slam a whole entire company because of something like that. But that's the day and age we live in. It's like cancel culture, left
Yeah.
and fucking right. And it's like somebody does one thing and it's like, cool, you're canceled. It's like
Like, come
I
on.
just it's like I just said my opinion on something and you're canceling me.
Exactly. Right. And so I will say, I've heard what you're talking about how like people are saying it's either going to be Firefest Round 2 or, you know, Travis Scott's Astro World or whatever it's called. I honestly,
Yeah,
I, uh, it, there is going to be a lot of people there because, of all the bands and just a lot of people are going to go because they don't want to miss out too. But there's not going to be as many people as like Travis Scott, because Travis Scott, Drake, all those people that came out at that show, those are worldwide people. Like, they are celebrities everywhere they go. A lot of the bands that are on that when we were young, Bill, they could probably go to a lot of places around the world and no one would know who the hell they are. So like, I don't think that
Uh,
is going to be a problem because, oh, by the way, that's not a slam. I mean, I'm just saying,
oh no,
but I don't think there's going to be enough people to even like have that issue of the overcrowding and the trampling and, all that stuff that happened at the Travis Scott thing,
yeah, and I mean, there's like there's definitely some big names on there, and then
Yeah.
it's like I saw other people making slams at like this is like pedo fest basically because there's some
Oh,
bands with accusations on there, and it's like again, it's the cancel culture thing, and it's not by any means I'm defending these people.
of
I
course
don't
not. Yeah.
know. I don't know. Some of them I was like, they did what? And
Hmm.
but I mean, I like pulled up the thing on here, and it's like there's some definitely like really cool bands, like and bands that I didn't even know would like play again, like Boys Like Girls. I love that band.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull it up too.
And then
Yeah.
I mean, Armor for Sleep, that's cool. Like these are there's definitely some when I was young bands, but then there's other bands where I'm like, man, I haven't even. But I guess this
Yeah.
is like
There's some.
this is a broad market of different generations of when they like other people were young. Like
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm looking at that. Yeah, there's a bunch that I'm like, I've never even heard of you before.
I've heard of almost every single one of these bands.
Let's see here. I've never heard of the Lindas.
Yeah, I don't like that's a weird one.
Um, Wolf Alice. Never heard of them. Car seat headrest.
Yeah,
That's
there's
interesting.
definitely some weird ones, but this is like every one of these bands have one thing in common.
Hmm.
They've all played Warped Tour, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing that I liked is when like people were trying to like either if it was for or against, like trying to prove that it's going to be doable or that it's not. Kind of. I think it was on Facebook. I saw one where like the only logistic that I was curious about is something not even like fan related. They were like, okay, if every band has 10 guest list spots, that's so and so amount of money and all that stuff. And like the catering, where is catering going to be? How much food is that? Like band, crew, insane.
Yeah,
Like that you can maybe relate to Firefest. Like you're getting a sandwich with bologna meat and a slice of cheese, like that's the kind of other stuff that I'm like, how is that going to work out logistically? A lot of those headlining bands, they're going to have, if not one bus, two buses. There's going to be a bunch of semis, not only for like production of just the festival to run, but like, you can count that some of those bigger bands might have some production. Like,
yeah.
where the
A
hell are
lot of
you
it's
doing this?
a lot of it's going to be rented backline for sure. Like
Yeah, that's what I
um,
figured.
SIR is right down the street from me, and that's like I was actually when I did that one-off thing, I went through SIR as an independent contractor,
Hmm.
um, and they'll probably have literally every single piece of gear they have in the warehouse will be at that show,
Damn.
um,
Yeah.
or somebody like that, and then they're going to hire like production companies for like lighting and stuff to like bring in like build out set carts and all like shit like that.
Hmm.
But when you really consider it, the people with the big production are going to be like MyChem,
Yeah.
uh, Paramore, Bring Me, A Day to Remember, and like Avril. Like those are going to be like, I mean, A Day to Remember's production in general is usually massive.
Oh, for sure. They'll have something.
And then like Bring Me will definitely have some pretty big production. Paramore, of course, and then
Hmm.
MyChem's only done one show, so who knows? Like
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And I wonder if, and forgive me, I don't know, I haven't like that, like just when I looked it up, that's the first time I've went to the site. I wonder if they're gonna also maybe offer like for $10 you can stream,
I hope they do.
that'd be kind of cool. I would honestly I probably won't tune into that, but it would be cool. Make
I
a
mean,
extra money.
I live in Vegas, and I just don't even want to be there when it's happening. It's
Dude,
be an absolute fucking shit show.
it's gonna be nuts, dude. Fuck.
Like living there and being there long enough, it's like I hate tourists, even though they keep our town alive.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I
It's
there's no way I'm going as a fan or anything. But then again, I've never been one to really go to shows because I that's what I did for like a decade. Like I never really wanted to just go to a show to watch a show. But I said, hey, if a band hollers at me, and wants me to work it, I'll go for sure. Which I hit up. I had told Kellen from Sleeping with Silence. I was like, hey, bro, if you need me, let me know. I'm down. But that's the
yeah.
only
I
way.
mean,
I'm like, I don't want to fly there on my own money and but like hotel, like you need to do all the stops
yeah. I mean, if I got paid to go there, that'd be different.
for sure.
Because I looked at how much tickets were, and I was like, holy shit! Like, it's like no offense to any of these bands, but I don't want to pay that.
It's a pretty penny, and that's another thing that people were like pissed about. But then there's other people that are like telling you the logistics. It's like, hey, you go to like another show of like an arena tour, like those tickets alone for maybe even just like a 3 band bill, they could be like $50 to $100. Like I don't know what's Buckcherry's ticket price, like general.
I think I saw like day of show was like $40.
So think about that. That's for 3 bands usually for
Yeah,
this tour. 3 bands, Buckcherry. Now you have a festival with probably most people, every single band on there is their favorite band. Like for the price ticket, when you put that all together, it makes sense. It's still a
yeah,
lot though. I'm not gonna
and I
pay that.
mean those guarantees, like
Oh my.
there's just in the headliners alone, that's millions
Oh, it's gonna
just
be good for the
just
bands,
right there.
100%.
But I know people need to look at it in this sense too. Don't bitch about paying ticket prices or live music because we went 2 years
Right.
without live music,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and even then people were like people still found a way to bitch, and I'm just like, dude,
Oh, for sure.
this shut down the whole entire entertainment industry. Period.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny because like I'm sure if I went back and listened to the first like podcast thing we did,
Hmm.
I probably was like, oh yeah, the last like 2 weeks, a month, something like that.
I know,
And here we
right?
are, fucking 2 years later,
Dude, it's
and
fucking crazy.
yeah, like I'm still getting used to touring again, and because I've done this will be my third tour I've done in 2 years, so it's like it's wild because it's like getting used to the daily routine again
Hmm.
and just being like, fuck, like how do I even do this anymore?
Damn.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it made me grateful for being home more, um, in that whole sense because it was like I never, I never liked being home, and it was not against like my girlfriend or anybody. I just didn't like being home, and now I'm like, man, I want to go spend more time at home
Yeah.
because
I
it's
would
just
imagine that's the case for a lot of people. They're like,
yeah,
wow, like I totally, love being on the road and it's nice when you get home, but then you're like just, a couple weeks, you're like, all right, I'm ready to go back out. Now, like with the force, of COVID and the pandemic making you stay at home, you're like, oh shit, like so this is like actually what having it sounds weird saying it. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but like having a life outside of
yeah.
touring, it's like, oh shit, like okay, this is weird. I like this. Like this is cool. Like, and then
I mean,
boom, tours are slowly coming back.
a lot of like crew people stopped touring, Like
Oh yeah.
there's a bus driver shortage.
Oh no.
There's like a crew shortage in general. Like a lot of like the older dudes step down and were like, oh, I'm not going to tour anymore. And basically it's like even like my generation of people touring like kind of moved up a step. Like we're not so much like the younger guys doing it anymore. We're like in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because it's like, and this kind of like a lot of people went to like Amazon or FedEx or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because that I did Amazon over the pandemic, which cool. Amazon, they can get you everything you need, but they treat their employees like
I've
absolute dog shit.
I've heard about that because you were doing deliveries, right? Like you were
Yeah,
driving. I heard that like
yeah.
you get really like they get pissed at you if you like make a bathroom stop
Um,
or something
you
like
have
that. Where like if you were on the road, like need to like deliver shit, and if you stop to like go to, I don't know, like I forget. I read an article and like they something with like using the restroom and making stops and basically not constantly delivering. Like they would get
you,
pissed.
you need to do so many packages per hour, and they're literally like they have GPS tracking on you. They know where you're at. They know how many packages you delivered. Like, and if you like, even when you take your lunch, that eats into your packages per hour.
Damn,
So it's
dude.
like I wouldn't even take a lunch
Just
sometimes.
eat while you're cruising.
Yeah, and I mean they would be like, "Oh, you need to clock out for lunch," but it's usually I would be like, I'll stop, I'll smoke cigarettes or whatever." But I do
Yeah.
that consistently throughout the day, so it kind of make up for my lunch. So I just clock out and just keep going,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like the job sucks, and it's and
Yeah,
what they
that's not
pay
chill.
you because they pay you $15 an hour, not bad, but you consider like an average day, like especially during like peak season, so during Christmas, you're
Oh
working
god.
10 10 and a half, 11 hours. And you're going home, like you're getting home. Like I think the latest I got home one night was like 11:30, and then I needed to be back to work or like get up by 8 o'clock to go to work at 10,
Jeez.
and then repeat the whole process 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's gnarly. And also I thought their minimum pay was like $20. What the fuck?
Now it's $15 an hour because see, Amazon does this weird thing, and it's kind of how their whole scheme works is they only hire third parties to deliver for them.
Oh.
So those third parties have control over how much you get paid.
What the fuck?
But also, you can do Amazon out of your own car, which I inevitably did because I quit Amazon.
Okay.
Um, but I knew how to do it anyways. And they give you way less packages, and they'll pay you anywhere from like 45 to like $90 for like 3 hour blocks.
Oh,
So if
damn. Okay.
like me knowing how to do it, I would do a 3 hour block in an hour and a half.
Damn.
So
Yeah, for
so it's
sure.
like in an hour and a half, I get paid $90.
Yeah, for sure. That's way better. Damn.
But it's like you consider you putting the miles on your own car, you're eating up your own gas. But it's like I'm probably gonna do it even after this tour, just to make some extra spending money. But it's like I'll go do it like 4 times a week, if that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the when people come back from tour, sometimes they do Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, just something to one make some extra, cash on the side, and then, I mean, also like some people just can't really like just go back and do nothing. They need to be doing something. So like that makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go back and do nothing. I'm gonna go back and hang out with my girlfriend and
Oh
play
yeah.
video
Well,
games.
that's the thing.
Like,
You have, you know, that to do. Like there's some people that, single, maybe they're not in your family. They don't have, anything really. So they get back and they just like watch movies and do nothing all day. Like those people might be like, okay, I need to fucking do some shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't even hang out with people when I'm home. I hang out with my girlfriend and her family. Like
yeah.
that's especially with like the pandemic kind of shit. Like that's we tried to stay in our bubble.
Hmm.
Um, and it's, I mean, even then we tried to stay in our bubble. And my girlfriend, her parents, her brother, and his girlfriend and her grandmother all got COVID pretty much at the same time, and I didn't
Damn.
get it. I was like, what the fuck?
Damn. Yeah, it sucks. It's not fun. I had it for yeah. It was not fun. The very
Yeah,
beginning of the year, 2022. Good start.
I mean, I got it not too long
Oh, so
ago
you did get it.
before.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got it with I'm double vaccinated,
Yeah.
and it wasn't
Same.
bad.
Yeah, it
Like,
was. It wasn't fun for sure.
and it's
um.
like, thankfully, it was like before this tour, so I didn't have to deal with it.
Oh yeah, that would not be
But
fun.
it's it's just like it's one of those things where it's like, it really wasn't that bad. I didn't even know I had it, and then like one day I kind of felt like shit. I tested, I was like, oh shit, I have
What?
COVID.
Before I.
And then like
Oh, go ahead.
after that, after that, it was like, oh, I do feel kind of bad. Like it was like the last few days I felt like kind of shitty. I just slept a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not fun to have for sure. Before I forget, it's relating to Amazon. I don't know where it was. Um, it was kind of more like a CCTV, like maybe a building just has like surveillance just to make sure, whatever. In the back, I don't even know if it was like a back alleyway or something like that, but it was one of those like the Amazon Sprinter van kind of things.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden the back door opens and it's the Amazon delivery guy helping, like some girl
Oh, I know
out
what
of
you're
the
talking
back.
about.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, damn, dude,
I mean, I don't doubt that with
getting
how
it
that
in.
job rolls. Like, no pun intended, getting it in.
Yeah, literally.
But it's like, I don't doubt that with that job. There's like so much, like a lot of people, could be like people that like smoke weed. Um, there's like a lot of stuff that like not at my particular like DSP
Hmm.
that like stuff would go on, but people would like dump packages and stuff and like literally like scan all their packages because there's a lot of hacks in that job that you figure out like
Oh,
because it's not all like always great. So your GPS system will say you're off and it will not let you deliver the package.
really? Okay,
Yeah, so you put the phone on airplane mode and it fakes out the phone and you can deliver the package.
interesting. So
So
there's no excuse. Like, hey, motherfucker, give
yeah,
me my package.
anybody listening that works at Amazon, you can turn your phone on airplane mode or just turn off your cellular data and it will let you scan the package and deliver it.
Huh?
And then you turn back on your cellular data and keep going.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, now there's no excuse for when you call or whatever, and it's like, why do I not have my package? Like, oh,
Yeah,
we
but
couldn't deliver it. Like, mm,
it
uh,
also gets you into shit if you deliver it to the wrong place, which I've done before on accident.
well,
And I
that
thought it was
it
I
happens.
thought I thought it was pretty funny. Like it delivered to like the wrong house, and they tell you like they literally like track you in every like sense on your phone. Like they essentially have this like app
Hmm.
that they try to get you to put on your personal phone, which I eventually ditched, and I would just get a second work phone
Okay.
that literally like tracks your driving. Like if you slam on the brakes, if you drive too fast, if anything,
Pass.
and it's like it's literally they just like try to like track every move and everything you do. Where it's like,
Yeah, that's not chill.
and even with like the Amazon branded vans, they put like video cameras inside of them. That's invade like, and it's they made everybody sign something and
Yeah.
agree
Oh yeah.
to it, but that's like invasion of like personal privacy.
Yeah, that's a bit much for sure. And I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but also like, I mean, pay him more. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it would be funny if they ever like I I had a non-branded van, so I
Hmm.
never had to deal with that. But
That's
it'd be
good.
even fun. It'd be funny if they ever saw mine because it'd be me fucking screaming at somebody
Yeah.
or going, "What the fuck is wrong with
Yeah.
this thing?"
Yeah, right.
And
God,
probably looking at the camera and going, "You're fucking pieces of shit."
right?
but I
flipping the
mean,
bird.
otherwise, I can't really talk shit about Amazon because I still, I still use them on a regular
The
basis. Like
system is great. It worked. It's
you can have stuff delivered the
amazing.
same day.
You can't
Like
beat
literally,
that.
I ordered something for my girlfriend the other day, and I was like, "Oh, same day delivery,"
For
and it was
sure.
there. It was there in like 3 hours.
Yeah. It,
Mm,
yeah, it's just unfortunate the way they treat, employees, but at the same time, you know, it's amazing. The service, you know, that they provide is amazing. Just pay more. Come on.
yeah, and it's funny because I did that, and I worked. I did an at-home call center
I remember you
thing.
telling me about that.
It
Yeah.
was it was fucking miserable. Like you want to talk about like going insane? That drives you insane because I literally get up out of bed and I'd walk into my loft area and there was my computer to go to work.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough
So
for sure.
and then it's like my girlfriend would be home and it'd be like, "Hey, you have to be quiet. You can't make any noise because like I'll get in trouble. If there's noise in the
Yeah.
background."
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
fun.
I don't understand how these jobs expect like people to function from home when they can't make any noise or have any background noise going on because it's like some people have kids and they can't
Yeah.
get babysitters because it's hard to afford them or babysitters don't want to do it because of COVID stuff.
Hmm.
Or
Yeah.
like I have a dog. I have a dog. He'll every so often he'll bark at something. It's like and they're like, you need to make sure your dog doesn't bark at things. I'm like,
Are you
I
kidding me? Yeah.
what am I supposed to do? Duct tape his mouth shut?
No. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Well, I'm glad you're not doing that anymore, right? If you're good,
No,
you're good on
I'm
that.
not. I'm trying to avoid working normal jobs. Like
Yeah.
I have a month off after this, and then pretty consistent touring up until like September, I think,
Okay.
right now.
Well, that's
And
good
it,
that you got things lined up then pretty good.
yeah, and I mean it's all with Buck Cherry, and they're like pretty consistent. Like you would think that like these bands only go on tour whatever days out of the year. Like these guys are,
They're
they're literally,
grinding.
they're still hustling, and it's funny because this band is like the epitome of like different personalities everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not even in a bad way. It's pretty funny. Like and it's really funny. Some of them have known each other for like 30 years.
Whew.
Like the bass player and our stage right guitar player, like they've known each other for like 30 fucking years.
Oh, yeah, they
And,
bust each other's balls for sure.
and then Josh, the singer, and Stevie, the guitar player, known each other for like 20, 30 years. And
Good chemistry for sure.
yeah, and it's also wild with these guys for me because I'm sober and Josh and Stevie and Kelly all have like double digit like years of sobriety. And
Really.
then yeah, Billy and Francis, the drummer and other guitar player, just don't drink. Like there's no partying going on.
So that's a pretty relaxed, I'm sure you guys have fun in different ways, but like more of it's definitely seems like a relaxed tour.
Yeah,
Busy,
and I
but
mean
relaxed.
I don't give a shit if people party. Like
Well, I know that. We toured with the Mice
uh,
Men together.
yeah, and I mean, I really don't give a shit if people party. It's to a certain extent in who is partying. The
Yeah.
band, by all means, can party all they want. The crew is where I kind of draw the line sometimes, where
Hmm.
I'm like, it's not the trailer's not closed. Why are you partying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I've dealt with that with a lot of tour managers, and thankfully I don't deal with it on this tour. But like in the past, where it's just like dude, the show's not even over and you have a drink in your hand. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Wait
Like, I
an
don't,
hour or two. Like, fuck.
it's like I get that you might have settled and your job is done, but you still got to like take care of the band until they're in the bus. Like, and even then, like being a tour manager's 24/7 job when you're on tour.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember for just an example, because it's the same tour that we were on, the Mice. Like our tour manager, like we probably maybe he'd come in the bus like here and there just like to grab something or maybe switch out battery for his walkie or something, but like you wouldn't really see him until like everything was like done, basically venue is pretty much empty. And then he'd come on the bus, and sometimes it would just be with boxes of pizza. Like he already handled so much shit and got pizza delivered, like all of this stuff. And then like you're like, okay, shit. Like, welcome back.
Yeah, I've seen so many different levels of like tour managers where it's like my TM now, like he'll make sure if I'm like, hey dude, um, are you gonna order food? He'll be like, yeah, probably. If not, I can get the runner to go get you something. I'm like, okay, cool. Or we'll do like when
Mhm.
there's nothing around the venue, we'll do lunch and dinner. And we have the runner go get us lunch and dinner.
Nice.
And sometimes even after show food. And it's like, cool. That's like how it should be. And then I'll do like other tours where tour manager is like, oh, you didn't eat? That's your fault.
Right. Yeah.
And
You
I'm
have no
like,
food left?
dude,
Bummer.
it's like, dude, I'm working all day. Like you
I don't have
can't,
time.
it's like you can't like make a food order for everybody. Like, what's your problem?
Yeah,
It's
it's not that.
literally,
Yeah.
and it's like you're giving them your own money, so it's not like an issue.
Hmm.
But like some of those bands are just so it's so wild to me. Like I dealt with every level of tour manager at this point. Like, and it's hilarious how much like tour manager can make or break a tour,
Oh,
as
for sure.
I'm sure you're aware.
Oh,
Like with
yeah. Oh, 100%.
if you have like a bad tour manager, your tour is going to be miserable. If you have a good one, your tour is generally pretty good. Like,
It's gonna run smooth because they take care of so much, everything really, like on the backside of everything. Like say you have meet and greets, like, yeah, you might have like someone, I mean, unless like the merch person is taking care of it, which I guess usually does, but like, the TM will go and handle shit. They need to, usually the TM is like the first one in the building, get things figured out, go find the right people to talk to. Like there's so much to figure out. And if the person that's your TM doesn't know what to do or is like sleeping in and not doing their job, like it's going to be a shit show.
yeah, or you wake up the TM and they're like, "Why are you waking me up?" It's like,
Yeah.
because the bus is broken,
Right. Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like that when it comes down to like those small inconveniences, and then it's like it's hilarious because I won't name names,
Of
but
course.
there's like a tour manager I had that would like pull the veil over the band's eyes, like take care of the band, like amazing, but
Hmm.
would not do shit for the crew.
Oh,
And it's like if he would get woken up at the wrong time,
that's shitty.
like it was terrible. But if I was sleeping and I get woken up for something and I go, what the fuck? I would get in trouble.
Oh, yeah. You probably wouldn't really get
And
asked
it's like,
to work again.
I mean, that something like that did happen, but it's like, and I'm just like, I don't care. I'm in way better environments now.
Yeah,
Um, not even just now, but just in general, since those things have happened, I'm just like,
that's good.
wow, like, you don't realize like a toxic person on a tour ruins everything.
I agree.
Because we've been like a lot of people like had time to reflect over like pandemic things, and you just see how like one person in a bad mood or like doing something can be a cancer. Like even if somebody isn't even in the same room, it like spreads around the bus where you're just like everybody's agitated.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just like thankfully like with these guys, like everybody's really vocal if they have a problem, like in this camp, but they've also all been like touring for so long.
Hmm.
And knowing that it's like multiple people living together and different personalities and everything. It's like cool. Like I deal with 5 different personalities just with the band every day.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I have my one dude that I deal with. I had to learn his personality. I had to learn like how he handles things, and we're good now. And it's like at first it was just like figuring them out, and then I figured out everybody in the band. Like their stage right guitar player, every time I walk on the bus, just goes, mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, you're just like, and it's fucking hilarious because it's just like it's just his personality,
Yeah. That's funny.
and And like, dude, you're always fucking silently judging me. He was like, I'm just fucking with you. I was like, I
I
know,
know,
but
but still.
it's like I walk in a room and I just hear and I'm like, cool, Billy's like right around, like he can see me.
That kind of gives me a, and it's because Phil loves to fuck with people from of
Oh yeah,
mice. It's kind of like Phil, huh?
yeah, in that sense. Like, I mean, even like our guitar player, the one I take care of, Stevie, very much like Phil. So I'm already like used to it. I just
Oh
got to
yeah.
remember how to deal with like scenarios. And it's just because they're passionate, they care. It's never it's never anything personal.
Yeah.
And that's a bit, I guess it's like one of the biggest things you can learn on any tour is nothing is personal until
You
you're
make
told
it.
it's personal
Yeah.
or you make it personal. Like, cool, I've been yelled at more times than I can count. And it's not even because
Same
I've done
here.
my
Yeah.
job badly. It's like something happened, like during a show, or like even in your case, it could be like, oh, you lost fucking everything, like video wise, and somebody somebody in some scenario could be like, it's your fucking fault, or blah blah blah. There's like a million fucking things.
Million. Yeah, of course. Yeah, every job has a million different things that can happen, and then you share a million of other things that the other person, like everything is everyone's problem, and then if you make it personal, then it's personal. Unless like legit, like you're a dumbass and it is your fault, then but bite that bullet. But yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I had a problem last night with one song, and I've gotten really good at admitting like something goes wrong, and I had a problem. I forgot to do something I was supposed to do. Literally walked on the bus because I usually go grab. Two of the guys usually take their in-ear packs into the bus, and
Hmm.
I go get them. And I walked on the bus, and I just looked at Stevie, and it was like, I'm a fucking idiot, dude. I'm sorry. There's no excuse for this one. And he was just like, it's okay. He was like,
Yeah.
just don't do it again. And I was like, I'm never gonna do it again because I'll fucking
Yeah.
it happened.
Oh yeah.
And but it's just like especially like Stevie's like he's the kind of dude you it's very much like Phil. Don't make an excuse.
Hmm.
Admit what's wrong. Don't try to make an excuse of why you weren't at fault for it.
Yeah. Just own up.
Yeah,
Make
just
sure it doesn't happen again. We're
yeah,
gonna live. We're gonna keep. We're gonna play another show. Like, just don't fuck up again.
yeah.
Or
And
yeah.
there's so many difference between people that are professionals and non-professionals. Like
Hmm.
I like dealing with a broad spectrum of people. It's like professionals don't yell at you ever, like during a
Hmm.
show. They'll literally look at you and go, "What the fuck?" But it's they have in-ears in
Yeah.
generally,
Oh,
so
for
they're
sure.
gonna talk louder and they're gonna look at you, especially when like I'm the guitar tech. If I hand somebody a guitar completely out of tune, they have all the right to turn to me and go, "What the fuck is this?"
Right. Yeah. Because well, they're performing. They just can't necessarily go cross stage or wherever they are and be like, hey, like a full conversation with you. So like they're like mouthing what the fuck or yelling at you,
Yeah,
mainly just because in ears and it's loud. But trying to use their eyes and looking and like it looks worse than it is. But like realizing who you're working with and learning their mannerisms and how they do things, it's like you realize that like they're not actually like furious with you. And out from the
yeah,
outside, it might seem like that. Like there's been times where I don't know a certain, maybe from another band that's on the tour, and like the same scenario just happens that we were talking about now, and I'm like, holy shit, like they're heated. And then like after their, after the sound check or whatever it might be, they're off to the side like having a laugh and everything's fine. I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah. There's always, I mean, being on tour, you live with like fucking how many ever ugh, how many I can't even talk right now.
How
Like
many
you
other?
live with a bunch of different
Yeah,
fucking yeah, other you have a bunch of different people that you live with.
yeah,
Like people are like people think it's bad when you have like roommates or you live with a girlfriend or something like that, getting used to that. Try living with a bunch of dudes. Like
yeah.
that are usually all adults and different levels of adults. Like there's always a messy one or there's always a clean freak, or there's always somebody that like needs their space or whatever, and you're just like, I don't know what to do.
Well, let alone like, the 12 people in a bus, like you're in a fucking tube. Like you're not an apartment, you're not in a house, like with multiple bathrooms. Like you're in a tube on wheels with one bathroom that 90% of the time you cannot shit in. Like it's insane.
Yeah, and there's also like people are like, well, it's your job. You can just when the day's over, it's over. It's like legitimately, I sleep right above Steve.
Yeah.
Like I sleep right above my boss.
Inches, like a foot and a half, 2 feet.
Yeah, and then right below him is the other guitar player, and right across from me, one bunk down, is Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Like I literally have three band members that are in my area,
Yeah, it never ends. Yeah.
and it's like Stevie's my boss, but also these other guys are also my boss. Like, they write the checks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I just look at it, I'm like, holy shit. Like, and then people are like, imagine riding home with your boss after you had a bad day,
Oh
or your
yeah.
boss pisses you off, or you piss your boss off, or something like that. That's what people have like don't realize about.
Yeah.
It's like literally right now, I'm looking right at our bass player. Like he's in the lobby watching football, and it's
Yeah.
just like you anywhere you turn, it's like there's always somebody. I guarantee if I walked on the bus, Stevie's gonna be on the
Mm-hmm.
bus playing his guitar,
Oh yeah.
or
Well, it's
somebody's gonna be in the front lounge, or if I look back, Josh will be in the back lounge watching sports. That's what he fucking does all day.
oh
And
yeah.
it's like, and it's just like you can't get away. And I'm pretty isolated anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I try to hang out to a point,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
usually I'm like,
All right. Cool.
I'm gonna go do my own thing. Like I'm gonna go to the crew room unless there's like people in there just
Oh god, the worst
hog,
is
ho-
yeah.
hogging the crew room.
The worst is when like the entire crew's in there and you're like, fuck, dude, all I wanted to do was shower and like mainly maybe just watch like something for a little bit and not be on the bus. But now there's two people in each bed. There's someone showering. There's someone in there with a gaming system taking up the table. I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back on the bus and not shower till like 10 p.m.
dude, that is my strategy. It has been actually since
It's
of
not
Mice
bad.
and Men.
Yeah. I tried
Since
that
since of
strategy.
Mice and Men. But it's like the last band I toured with, which like money wise never made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But also there was 14 people
Holy
on the
shit.
tour. So it was just like we'd get like two people per room like every day off. So
That's
it
nice.
was a little more convenient in that sense. But it's like sense of Mice and Men, like because I do the same thing with these guys. It's a band room, crew room for
Mm-hmm.
showers,
Yeah.
and I do the same thing every time. It's like anywhere from like 10 o'clock to like 3 in the morning. That's when I
Oh,
shower.
okay.
Unless it's like during the day and I know nobody's in there, I'll like jump in there and I'll shower. Like today, I'll probably do that because I haven't showered in 3 days.
Yeah, you're due.
Yeah. And it's just like, I know it. I don't smell great, but I don't smell terrible either. I take care
Mm-hmm.
of my hygiene.
But still,
And
like, okay, we're due.
I'm like, oh, I'll go shower before I go eat. And then I'll probably go back in there later tonight if nobody's sleeping in there because our bus calls like 10:30 in the morning.
Oh, nice. I love those.
Yeah, I do and I don't because our bus, like, and it's nothing against anybody, but they run the heater at night. Like, I get it,
Ooh,
people are
it's
cold. I mean,
toasty.
it's very toasty, and I sleep in the top bunk, so it's real toasty.
Yeah.
But also, we have windows, which is really fucking
Oh,
cool. Like,
sick.
we had to swap buses, and we got a really, really nice bus.
Nice.
So I like take down my flap, and the window gets cold. So
Damn.
I like scoot up to the window for cool air.
That's sick. I've never been in a bus that had like its own personal window in your bunk. I'm pretty jealous of you actually.
It's pretty cool because you like this morning I like popped my window to like see where we were, and it's
That's
like
sick.
okay, We're
That's so
definitely at
cool.
the hotel.
That's so cool. Damn. Because there's been times we've been parked, or I feel like we're parked, or maybe we're still driving, but like it's, residential and you're close. You're like, where are we? And you're like, man, but I really don't want to get out of my bunk to like see where I'm at. But that's sick. You can just be like, boop, all right, cool. We're here. All right, I'm getting out.
I mean, I'm always the person that I will open my phone, I'll look at maps, and that's how I find out where we're at.
That's usually that's what I did. Yeah.
It's usually like my first thing I do in the morning is
Yeah.
like open up maps and make sure that like we're at where we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Where's
Like the other
coffee?
day,
Where's food? That's my first thing. I'm like, where's food and coffee?
yeah. And I mean, even on this tour, it's like the other day, we had to drive through some pretty shitty weather, so we were late.
Oh.
But I was like, I woke up and I was like, all right, I'm gonna see how far we are from the venue. Oh, we're an hour. All right, I'm going back to sleep for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's okay. That helps for sure.
I mean, I slept until 12:30 today.
Solid.
So, and that's usually what I've been doing on my days off. I sleep until like 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Damn.
And I wake up and everybody's awake, and I'm like, wow, I must look like the lazy one.
Right? Yeah.
But I also stay up until like 4 or 5 in the morning
Oh,
every day.
okay. So yeah, it balances that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
but it's like, I mean, with this bunch, it's kind of cool because like everybody goes to bed by like 3 o'clock. So I'll sit in the front lounge while the bus is rolling, or go to sit up front with the bus driver, and then that's kind of how I roll with my day, or like my night, and
Yeah.
then I will, uh, then I'll decide to go to bed
Right on. So,
because it's. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna ask, how much is left in? So let's see here. I was trying to pull it up on the site, but my browser is being weird.
We're out until
Oh,
we're out until the 14th.
oh, okay, cool. So, and then you
Well,
have
that's
a
the day
month,
I
right?
fly home. Yeah, it's like a little bit. I think we go back out March 18th or something like that,
Okay.
and then we're out for like another. I think we do like 6 weeks, and then we're home, and then I can't remember what's after that, but
Right on, man.
very. There's only like a couple parts in the year where I'm like, there's one time I'm home for 9 days. I'm like, well, that sucks, but everything else I'm home for like 2 weeks. I mean,
That's nice.
guys in the band have like kids, wives, and everything, so they want to be home a little bit longer when they can be, which is really cool.
Yeah. Right on, man. I think this is a good spot to kind of end this. Like I told you before this, I made a juice, and that thing is wreaking havoc on my stomach, and I mean, in a good way. It's
Yeah,
so yeah,
when you got to poop, you got to poop, man.
dude, I don't know what it's gonna do something. I'll tell you that. But yeah, man, it was good to talk to you. We'll do this again soon for sure. Hopefully sooner than we did this one. I know like we were gonna do it a couple or a few weekends ago, but more so shorter of a gap than the first time you were on, which was like over a year or something ago. So
That was 2 years ago.
two
That was right
years,
at the
two
beginning.
years.
It's
Shit.
over 2 years because it was like the very beginning of the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll make sure
So
that it's not that big of a gap next time.
yeah, next time we need to try to get. I want to get somebody from a mice and me on here,
I would love to do that, dude. Let's figure it out.
or the more the merrier, and just see how fucked up it can get.
Oh no, I'm down, man. We'll have to figure that out for sure.
Like, I mean, I haven't even talked to. Just real quick, I haven't even
Yeah.
talked to a lot of those dudes in a while, so it'd be even funny just to catch up. Like, I still like. I talk to like Phil every
Hmm.
now and again, but it's like AP is like an anomaly, and he just does
Yeah.
his own thing. It's like he'll occasionally pop up, and I'll be like, "Oh,
Oh
how
yeah.
you doing?"
I feel you on that. Yeah, dude, that'd be so fun. I'm down. We'll have to get something together.
Yeah, because
Sweet.
that would be fun. And you still need to send me that video of
Oh
me
yeah.
that
Sorry.
that No, I want it because I want to relive that moment, and also it's hard to describe it to people.
Yeah, I'll work on getting that to you for sure.
All right, dude. Well, you take care,
You too,
and
man.
I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Have a good rest of your day off and tour.
Yeah, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Peace.
Later.
The Daily Podcast.